Good morning. Have you ever made a big decision and then thought, I should pray about this? Well, have you? Um, I don't guess I can hear your answer. Some of you are saying no. Some of you are saying, yeah, I have. And some of you are lying. if you say if you say no, then then I assume you're lying. I'm sure that there's somebody out there that's never made a big decision without praying about it, but I assume that we all have. Um, but then you get into that whole thinking, am I a person who is in a constant state of prayer? Do I pray without ceasing? And if I pray without ceasing, then I can't really make a big decision and not pray about it. Well, my wife and I made a big decision last night. We made an offer on a house. I'm not sure we can really afford it. We made it contingent on the sale of our house. And so I've had all kinds of emotions flying in and out of my mind. Is this the right thing? Am I making a mistake? Will they even accept the offer? My assumption is we're offering less than they're asking, so we're assuming that they might not accept the offer. However, we'd like to have the house, and we think it's possible that they will accept it. It's kind of a step up for us. I kind of find myself going through all kinds of emotions like, oh God, if I take a step up in a house, am I stopping myself from the ability to give and share and help others? Am I neglecting my um, community? Am I doing enough for others? Am I giving? Am I always giving like I ought to be? So you have all of these every time we purchase something with dollars, and we know that there are people that need at the same time. Are we, you know, do we have that struggle? Are we doing the right thing? Um, it's a struggle. It's real. It's real for me. I assume it's real for you. Um, as Americans, we're in a especially unique situation. We're living in America. There are things that we can't help but do, like pay taxes and the cost of health insurance and the cost of taxes on our income, whether we spend it or not. We have a tax on our income. We have taxes on every time we buy food, every time we buy groceries, every time we buy a house, every time we buy a car. Heck, we have taxes when we want to try to drive on the road, when we have our driver's license. So we have this constant bombardment of dollars that we have to give out, and we have this automatic dollars that go out when we make an income in income taxes. And we live in a time where I don't know if America's the richest country in the world, but we're up there. Maybe we're far and beyond the richest country in the world. Maybe we spend more on military than the next 10 countries or 20 countries combined. I'm not looking at the statistics, but I know that we're a rich country. We're a rich people. And so now these thoughts are flashing into my brain. Is it that every time we spend dollars, we're getting taxed, and those tax dollars in turn support the military? What should we do? Should we leave the country? Should we move? I woke up this morning thinking, I come here, I sit here in front of this computer, and before I ever turn on the recorder, I'm spending some time praying and thinking through scripture and reading through text and thinking through what I want to talk about today. And so today I came with my heart going, oh, God is making an offer on this house. Selfish? Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it okay? Should I be doing this? And in my prayer I was going, God, I made this decision. I took this step because it's what I want. We have this desire. We were driven by wanting this move. And so, God, I confess, I made this offer last night. We don't know if they're going to accept it or not, but we told our realtor last night, and I told the owner's son that we were making the offer, and so the offer's out there, the offer's on the table, and now we're waiting. And so I don't want to take that offer back, but at the same time I'm going, God, I made an offer, we did this, is it okay? And I had to admit to myself, God, it's kind of like I've made this decision because it's what I want to do. And then I decided, what scripture am I going to read for today? And the first scripture that came to my mind or came across my view as I was reading scripture was this: delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Now, I'm not reading that as a prophetic thing. I'm not saying that God's going to give us this house and it's going to all happen. I don't have a clue. In fact, I would say that there's probably a 90% likelihood that we're not going to get it. They're not going to accept the offer. Our house is not going to sell in time, all that stuff. There's going to be something that prevents this from happening. But the peace that I needed came from this passage. So I start praying, God, there's something about delighting yourself in the Lord, and he gives you the desires of your heart. So I thought I would read to you the entire chapter of Psalms 37 today. It says, fret not yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light and your justice as the noonday. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Sometimes I feel guilty for being blessed. I feel like I'm a blessed person. I'm in a blessed family. I'm in a blessed country. I'm in a blessed nation. When I see God bless America, I think he already has. Literally, I'm driving down the road and I'll see a bumper sticker that says God bless America, and I just scream out. Nobody hears me, but he already has. He's already blessed us. Why can't we see it? Anyway. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself. It tends only to evil. So don't worry. Don't get your panties in a wad. Don't worry. Don't get scared. That tends to evil. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. The scripture is full of this whole message of peace. Peace. It shocks me. It blows my mind. It is incomprehensible to me today that we have people who call themselves Christians, who call themselves followers of God, who are calling for, who are supporting war and the killing of enemies and the death penalty. It's just incomprehensible. You can't say I'm following Jesus and call for war. It doesn't make any sense. For the evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. This house has a great lot that it sits on, and it also has the adjacent lot. So it's these two lots, and I'd love to inherit the land. I'll wait on the Lord and see if this comes to pass. In just a little while, the wicked will be no more. Though you look carefully at his place, he will not be there. But the meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant peace. It's funny it's funny to me how when you're praying about something, you're talking to God about something, you're led to a passage of scripture that just it just kind of screams out to you. Maybe it's like reading your reading your stars or whatever in the newspaper. Everything seems to fit because you make it fit. I don't know. In just a little while, the wicked will be no more. Though you look carefully at his place, he will not be there. But the meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant peace. The wicked plots against the righteous and gnashes his teeth at him. That's an anger gnash. They're mad. But the Lord laughs at the wicked. I don't know that that's true, for he sees that his day is coming. You say, Josh, you're reading scripture and you're saying, I don't know if that's true. Yeah, you know me. Come on. I think that this is the way the psalmist thought about the Lord, that the Lord would laugh at the wicked, for he sees that his day is coming. I don't think that the Lord laughs at the wicked. In fact, I'm not sure that there are wicked. In my mind, it's more like there are people who haven't understood and experienced God's love at this point, and therefore they're doing things that don't align with who they are and their true character. Took a drink just to let that sit for a minute. They're doing things that seem wicked because it doesn't align with their true character. What's their true character? They're created in the image and the likeness of God, and in them is God, and in them is the love and the life of God that lives inside of all of us. We're not made just made by God. We're made out of God. God makes us from His breath and His life. The wicked draw the sword and bend their bows to bring down the poor and needy, to slay those whose way is upright. Their sword shall enter their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. Man, I'll tell you what, when I think about the American war machine and I read passages like this, I think, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Better is the little that the righteous has than the abundance of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. The Lord knows the days of the blameless, and their heritage will remain forever. They're not put to shame in evil times. In the days of famine they have abundance, but the wicked will perish. The enemies of the Lord are like the glory of the pastures. They vanish like smoke, they vanish away. The wicked borrows but does not pay back. The righteous is generous and gives. Oh God, I want to be a generous, giving person. There's a passage here that talks about lending that kind of surprised me. I'm wondering, did I pass it already? I'm scrolling back. I think maybe not. The wicked borrows but does not pay back. The righteous is generous and gives. The wicked borrows but does not pay back. There is something to that. There's something to that. If I were hiring somebody, if I were trying to interview somebody to do something that was important for my family or my life, I would say a true test of their character is a credit report. And you say, I've said that before, and I've heard, I mean, people just exploded and there was just this anger because evidently maybe I don't know, maybe some of them had some credit issues. But there's this repulsion by me saying that there's something about a credit report that reveals character. And I'm sorry, I feel that way. I'm sure there are people in situations that have gotten into a place where their credit has been destroyed and it is not a reflection of their character. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there whose credit has been destroyed and it's not a reflection of poor character. In America, we deal with health care problems that can destroy somebody's credit. I would encourage you to keep all of your other bills paid up first, and when you have these healthcare emergencies that want to destroy and damage you, I would put those to last. Make sure you take care of all of your other credit issues. Keep your bills paid. Keep everything paid. Don't use credit cards. Don't ever put a medical bill on a credit card. That makes no sense at all. There's no value in that. The wicked borrows but does not pay back. The righteous is generous and gives. Is it that a righteous person is generous and gives, or is it that generosity and giving grows in a person righteousness? I don't know. I wonder if both are true. For those blessed by the Lord shall inherit the land, but those cursed by him shall be cut off. The steps of a man are established by the Lord. When he delights in his way, though he fall, he shall not be cast headlong, for the Lord upholds his hand. So that's an encouraging passage for me. I've been young and now I'm old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken or his children begging for bread. He is ever lending generously, and his children become a blessing. Is that the righteous man who's ever lending generously? I find myself, I'm in a situation where I have basically sold a vehicle, and I've sold it to somebody, a friend, on payments. And I sold it for probably the top end of what the vehicle's worth. And you say, if you're selling it to a friend, why are you selling it for the top end of the value? Why don't you sell it to them for a very fair price or a very low price? Well, I had all those dollars in it because I had spent lots of money repairing it and keeping it running and doing things to take care of it. And so it was worth this amount to me. And this friend, I have completely allowed this friend to use this vehicle for months without making the first payment yet, because this person's establishing their business, they're establishing their new home, they're trying to get things running, and so they haven't been able to make a payment yet. And I've said to them, it's okay, you will pay when you can. And so there's this theology, this idea, there's these words in Scripture that says don't lend, and I find myself going, am I lending? Is this lending? Is this making somebody a debt, giving them a debt? And the answer is yes. Am I doing something wrong there? I don't know. When I read this, he is ever lending generously, and his children become a blessing. Man, I want my children to be a blessing to the planet, to the world, to the people. And sometimes I have chosen to lend. If you come to me and say, hey, Josh, can I borrow $100? I'm probably going to say no, because it's just kind of in me to say, I don't loan money. If I can give it to you, I'll give it to you. But if I can't or don't feel like giving it to you, I'll probably just not do it. Turn away from evil and do good, so you shall dwell forever. For the Lord loves justice. He will not forsake his saints. They are preserved forever. But the children of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell upon it forever. The mouth of the righteous utters wisdom, and his tongue speaks justice. The law of his God is in his heart. His steps do not slip. The wicked watches for the righteous and seeks to put him to death. The Lord will not abandon him to his power, or let him be condemned when he is brought to trial. Wait for the Lord and keep his way, and he will exalt you to inherit the land. You will look on when the wicked are cut off. I have seen a wicked, ruthless man spreading himself like a green laurel tree, but he passed away, and behold, he was no more. Though I sought him, he could not be found. It's funny, reading passages like this on a day after you make an offer for a house, and you make this offer below the asking price significantly. You read a passage like this, and there's all kinds of reasons to say, "Oh, God's going to give it to us. We're going to inherit the land. We're going to get it." I'm not thinking that way at all. Will we get this house? I don't know. We'll see. I pray that if it's not a good fit for us, if it's not the right thing for us, I pray that God would just shut the door and it wouldn't happen. That's my prayer. Mark the blameless and behold the upright, for there is a future for the man of peace. But transgressors shall be altogether destroyed. The future of the wicked shall be cut off. The salvation of the righteous is from the Lord. He is their stronghold in time of trouble. The Lord helps them and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them because they take refuge in him. Refuge, reading that word refuge reminds me of refugees that are trying to come to somewhere safe, and some political circles and some governmental decisions are preventing them from coming to America. Again, of course, I think that's a mistake. I have friends that would say to me, Josh, if you think that's a mistake, you need to take a refugee into your house. Well, maybe I will someday. I have 4 kids that still live in the house, so I'm not willing to do that at this moment. Yes, my 4 kids are teenagers, and they could all probably protect themselves, but I'm not ready to put on them some decision of some stranger living in my home yet. But there may come a day that I do something like that. I think that's all I'm going to say today. Again, I'm not predicting we're going to get the house. In fact, I predict we won't. But as I went through this emotional turmoil of making an offer, is it the right thing to do? Is it wise? Is it good? Is it bad? I found myself praying, and I just thought I would share with you some of the thoughts of my heart. Psalms 37, 3 and 4. Psalms 37, 4 is the verse for today, but I decided to read you the whole chapter. I hope it meant something to you.